Hello, everyone, and welcome to this wonderful author interview with the one and only Breda McCague. Welcome, Breda.
Thank you, Karen. Good to be here.
It's so good to have you. We have been on a journey with Operation Growth. It is an epic book led by you because you are an epic leader. So, can
Thank
you
you.
share with everyone a little bit about yourself, where you are, and
Yeah,
kind of what the inspiration was behind Operation Growth?
yeah, absolutely. Well, Operation Growth exists because of you, Karen. So thank you so much for all of your support and pushing and coaching and all of your help. It was always something in my head. I always wanted to write a book about the last 10 years of my life and the learnings that have come out of it. So really, really glad that it's out there in the world and looking forward to it getting into more lives and seeing can it inspire and guide more lives. About me, I am based in Ireland in Monaghan, same county as you hail from, thankfully. And I'm a motivational speaker, so I am usually found on stages doing conference talks. A lot of the content I cover, a lot of that would be around women and business. Some of it would also be about leadership and mindsets and emotional intelligence. My background is 20 years in the Irish Army here on the border. I was the first female lieutenant here in Monaghan. So that was a hell of an experience in the infantry and made me who I am. And then went into banking. So did 22 years in banking as well and worked across the world with the banks and transformation and transforming companies and entities and legal entities and all sorts of things. And then moved into the speaking role and started my company called Aiming for Awesome.
I am trying to do the math. It's not working out, Breda. Surely
Most
not.
people are like, what age are you?
But we are
Yeah,
launching this interview on a very special birthday for you. And so,
yeah,
congratulations and happy birthday. And we are just, I'm planting the seed here now because we are going for number one on Amazon today. So, come and join us, grab your Kindle copy, and help us get to number one today for Breda. Breda, you run fast. I run fast. We could run
yeah,
fast together. We do
yeah,
have a lot of stories between us, but
yeah,
the amount of experience is what I'm going to call it that you have and things that you have witnessed and observed and all of those things come together into Operation Growth, don't they? For you to
yeah,
be able to share and guide people through
yeah,
their stages of growth because a lot of people fear it, don't they? And there's nothing to fear.
yeah, yeah. I think that the when lives change and your life starts to change, I think the fear of uncertainty kicks in a lot of people. And that's where you need a few tools and techniques around you, I believe, to get you through some big life transformations. And I've been through any amount of them. And I have actually learned how to embrace change in my life and career and everything. So when you can embrace change and embrace uncertainty, it'll run far easier with you. And you can flow with change quite easily in your life. But I do think our emotional reaction, most of us humans, is to fear when things change, and it's the fear of uncertainty. And so there's a lot of that in this book, just trying to help people understand the mechanics of how we react as humans to situations or to decisions that we have to make. And it's really just giving people a little bit more technique and tool, a little bit more education and information so that they can see the way their brain reacts, their emotions react, and therefore they can master any of the big emotions and they can regulate their emotions so that they can navigate the world of change in their lives and they can turn it into something fabulous. So I love transformation. I think everybody should be constantly evolving and we should be constantly transforming our lives.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that stops people doing that is this fear. You've got fear of uncertainty, fear of change, fear of judgment. And we're all far too worried about what everybody else thinks, in my view.
I agree wholeheartedly. And whenever you let go of that, wow, the freedom you feel, you just life's an adventure
Yeah,
then. Honestly, we do
yeah,
need to get comfortable with the discomfort of change because that's where the
yeah,
magic happens, is just
yeah,
outside of our comfort zone. You don't need to take a run, leap, and jump. You can just take a side step out And just
Yeah.
every little sidestep adds up.
Yeah.
And like we're both from the same county in Ireland. For those of you who don't know Ireland, there's 26 counties in Ireland, and you know, a lot of people put a lot of effort into maintaining what they have, which is fine and
Yeah.
wonderful. But whenever something, a purpose calls, it's louder. Whenever, you know, something that you haven't experienced before calls, you know, people think you're going insane. They think you're going crazy and doolally, but you
Yeah.
can't help it.
Yeah.
You have this pull, this feeling. What can you say to people whenever they get that pull? And, you know, everything in society is
Yeah.
saying, no, don't do it. Don't go for it. What do you want to give people advice on that for
Yeah.
real?
I, I think I think the universe sends you messages. I think the universe will cause you pain so that you will have to change. I think change is forced.
Hmm.
I think suffering is where this whole journey starts.
Yeah.
And so for those who end up in a bit of emotional pain or suffering, what we want to do is make sure that you realize that that is a calling. The universe is trying to get you to shift on from one track onto another track, in my belief.
Yeah.
And I do believe every one of us has been born with certain skills and talents and techniques that we need to be using in this world. And I think that's the way the whole lot works in harmony. And if you're not working or you're not in a place in your life that has that flow, then you will know it because there'll be a lot of resistance in your life. And you're going to have to be able to observe that and you're going to have to see it for what it is. And you're going to have to embrace the change that the universe is trying to make happen effectively.
Well, it isn't it the good old struggle before the breakthrough scenario, isn't it? And people retreat in the struggle. They
Yeah.
don't understand that the
Yeah.
struggle is there to serve you, to try and get you to quieten down to so that you
Yeah.
receive the messages to take the next step.
Yeah.
You're always guided.
Yeah.
Like, would you have known, Breda, that you would be, you know, many years in the army, many years in the banking system, and now out speaking all over the world, standing in New York, you know, in New York Times Square with big billboards and popping corks and champagne in the rain like we were last November? You know, who would have known that that would ever
Yeah.
happen? And that doesn't happen unless you answer the call. And, you know, you've been through many struggles. I've been through many
Yeah.
struggles. I am from Monaghan, but I live in Perth, Australia. It was
Yeah.
totally irrational for me to even consider moving to the other side of the world. I was 35
Yeah.
weeks pregnant with my third child.
Wow.
I had just locked up a brand new house and
Yeah.
traveled the other side of the world where I didn't know anybody. We didn't know
Yeah.
anybody. We didn't know the health system or nothing whenever we came. It to everyone, it was the most irrational thing. And yet
Yeah.
every part of my being and every part in my heart knew that it was exactly the next step. And had I not done that, I would never have found writing. I would never have started helping people
Yeah.
publish their books. I would never have been on the epic journey that I have been on. And it is
Yeah.
a matter of saying yes when everybody else is going, What? What are you doing? But you know, it's
Yeah.
that you're trusting yourself, you're trusting your own inner guide because it works 100% in your favor, doesn't it, Brita?
Yeah. Well, I think what you're describing there is listening to your intuition.
Hmm.
And when people ask me, what regrets do you have? The only regret I have in life is when I didn't listen to my intuition. And that is one hell of a lesson for anybody listening to this today.
Yeah.
Your intuition will never put you wrong. And what happens is our brains can't separate the intuition with from the emotion and we want as humans and we desire things and society has taught us that we should have things and I think we override our intuition
Hmm.
and so your intuition is just another word for your gut feeling
Yeah.
and when your gut feeling is off you need to pay attention to that and if it's on pay attention to that so I think life is all about really taking risk and I think that's another piece that we all need to get better at. I think we all have to be able to take managed risks. We have to be able to weigh up the pros and cons. And I do think that if you want to be brilliant in this world and sharing your brilliant gifts the way they were meant to be shared, then you're going to have to learn to take a little bit of risk. You're going to have to say yes to the things that scare you, and you're going to have to start learning a little bit about how the universe works, why you're here. You're going to have to build vision boards. You're going to have to map out and understand where you think you should be serving in the world. And that is how you get yourself there. This stuff does not happen by accident, it happens by purpose. And the only people that can really drive us and design our lives are us.
Yeah.
And that means it's down to decision making. So my book is all about how the background to all of our decision making has come about, how we've been programmed, how our conditioned programming when we grow up really impacts the way our decision making process works as adults, and how to change that if it's not serving you, which is very important. So I don't think I would have known many years ago that I could transform my life to the degree I have done that. And it's a great lesson for anybody who thinks there should be more to life, because they're right. There should be more to life. So for anyone that's thinking that watching this, you are absolutely right. And there is, but it will take you, yes, managing risk, taking risk, mapping out what you should be doing, identifying where you are really strong and what makes you come alive. And you have to make that happen. You have to design things and you have to take risk. You put yourself out of the comfort zone, and then you've got to write books about it, because that's how your methodology gets out into the world.
Show us your cover there so that everyone can see it. Oh, put it in front of your
Bing.
face. Awesome. I and let's redefine the word risk. Risk is something that red flags with people. Think, there's red, these alarms are going off. Risk, risk, risk. It's not. If you're taking a risk on yourself, I think it's more reckless to not take the risk on yourself,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a strategic risk. There's nothing to lose. There's everything to learn. You're never going to lose or fail whenever you are backing yourself and whenever you are trusting yourself and going for it. Other people may have different opinions, but I think we need to change the narrative around that, and to say, you will only ever regret not taking those
yeah.
risks, not backing
Yeah.
yourself, really, isn't it, Breda?
On that part, what I've learned is that when we are thinking about doing something, and this might stir something for someone, and they might think about doing something, but the fear is what kicks in. And the only reason that fear kicks in is because it's unfamiliar what
Mhm.
we're doing. So if you're starting to think about taking major steps in your life, or changing career, or changing your life, or redesigning how you live, or your whole life plan has to change, your fear kicks in because it's not familiar. And we've got to remember that our brains have some primitive wiring still in there, and it triggers when we go to do something that we've not done before. And that's the fear of the unknown. Now, how you master that is when you start to feel afraid or uncertain, or you get nervous about trying to make yourself do something that's not been done by you before, then what you got to remember is find your bank of evidence of all of the other things that you have tried that you did not know how to do and hadn't done before, and how well you've managed to make those your new familiar.
Yeah.
And that's the trick. It's understanding how to work the brain and the muscle that runs our entire thinking and our entire life outcomes.
Yeah.
So, where's the evidence of all of the other things that you have done in your life that you have managed to figure out somehow and you didn't know how to do them? So it'll tell you that the evidence is there, that when you take on something new and you're not familiar with it and your brain is triggering with fear, it's just because it hasn't done it before. But you now know that there's evidence the whole way through your life
Mhm.
of plenty of things you did not know how to do before. You've mastered them. So let's go again. And it's practice.
Write that list of
Yeah.
things that you've done that weren't familiar, and
Yeah.
and to know that everything always works out.
Yeah.
100%, it
Yeah.
always works out. You'll go on a journey, you'll discover some new things about yourself, and it will always work out. And you will be,
Yeah.
in hindsight, you will look back and go, wow, I actually appreciate that experience, because it's helped me to be a better person, a bigger person, a person who is, who's more curious about life, who's, all of those things.
Yeah.
Embrace it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listening to you speaking there just is so motivating, just to see you've got evidence in your life that it all works out, that you
Yeah.
have the courage to take those things and to create new habits,
Yeah.
positive habits in your life, so that you can get better results. Like, why not? Why not
Yeah.
take a risk on yourself?
The secret to our outcomes is always in our daily habits.
Yes.
And so we've got to figure out what we do and why we do it the way we do it. And then we got to figure out, does that serve us? And
Mm,
if it serves us, it will serve everyone around us. And
yeah.
to your point about it will always work out, hindsight is the most wonderful thing. And if we all think about, looking back, we can see now why things happened and why things had to happen maybe to us that we had to rebuild from. But at the time you don't see it. So
Yeah.
therefore, if anybody's thinking about making change in their life and the fear's kicking in and they're nervous and they don't know what's ahead of them, just trust the universe. You've got to
Mm,
trust the journey, and that can be a very difficult thing
yeah.
when you have no evidence ahead of you.
Yeah.
But think about the hindsight you do have and how you've navigated other situations and that bank of evidence, and keep going. Just keep adding to that. And
Yeah.
it's just taking risk. It's about all of the things we're talking about come together there. And the only way that we can break our own mental limits, which is often what's happening there, is by trying it.
Oh,
And,
it
you
is by
know,
trying it. Exactly. Just
yeah,
go and dip your toe in
yeah,
the water and just give
yeah,
it a go. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain, honestly. And
yeah,
and just remember you're making up stories and narratives in your head. Stop it. You're blowing
yeah,
it out. Just be
yeah,
in the present, take the next step that you're guided to, and allow
yeah.
yourself to feel some joy and curiosity. Remember when you were a kid, you were curious, you were adventurous. Do it. Go
Mm.
back there. Go and unleash your inner child. Go and have a ball and just make it happen, isn't it, Breda?
Yeah. I would love for, the younger versions of you and me and
Mm.
everyone watching this to realize how much, all the knowledge we now have, the educations we have, the wisdom and the experiences we have, how all of that has been so transformative in both our lives. And I wish that more people younger realized that they would have to take risk, that they would be having to get out of their comfort zone. They would be mapping out their lives. They would be using vision boards. They would be
Mm.
playing with the art of the possible. And I wish we were doing that a lot younger in lives.
Teaching it in
And
schools, Breda. Teaching it in
yeah,
schools.
oh, I mean, I'm turning
Imagine.
50. So I wish I had known what I learned around the age of 37 at 17.
Yeah.
That would have served me extremely well in my
You
life.
weren't ready
And
for
we
it
only
yet then, Breda. You weren't ready for it. The
I
world
I
wasn't
wasn't
ready for you
ready
to know it
and
then.
the world wasn't ready. No, the world wasn't ready either.
No,
And look,
no.
it all happens. It falls into place the way it's supposed to. But I'm just hoping that we can inspire people, because this is already inspiring lives.
Yeah.
And the reason that it's inspiring lives is because people are reading this and they're making changes in their lives. The feedback I'm getting is all like, I was thinking about writing a book. I read your book in one night and I started my own book at 5 a.m. this morning.
It's one of
That
those
was one of
books,
the
though, to have
feedback.
on your shelf and to keep going back to. And as you grow,
Yeah,
you're going to see deeper into it and get more
yeah,
out of it. So it's not just a book to go
yeah,
get, it's a resource. It's a book to keep going
yeah.
back to. Amazing.
Yes, and it's going to work their brains, because I have loads of questions in here. So
Yes.
you'll read a module on this
Yeah.
and then you'll do the questions with it. And
Yeah.
so it kind of makes you think through what you've just read,
Yeah.
which I think is where the power is in getting people to take action.
Absolutely. Yes.
And there's plenty of areas for notes as well. So I want this to be nearly like a workbook
Yeah.
on someone's bedside locker. And I want them to be taking a little bit at a time, digesting it, thinking about how that actually applies in their life and what tweaks they could make, and
Yeah.
then moving on another little bit. And I want this to be something like, it took me 10 years to learn all of this. So I
Yes.
want people to take this. It's all here now in a full methodology for them. And I want them to take a little bit, and a little bit, and digest, 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 apply, practice, try and make the changes in their life in small baby steps. And they will get where I got, but they'll get there a lot quicker because it's all
Yeah.
in here for them now.
Breda's done the work for you, but that doesn't mean you
Yeah.
get to not go on the journey for yourself and shield, but you've got Breda as a cheerleader, egging you on,
Yes.
guiding
Yeah.
you through it all and getting you actionable. Guys, go and get your copy today, wherever books are sold online, and go and get your ebook today to get this amazing woman to number one for her birthday. And what a great
Yeah.
cover. I loved
Yeah.
you interacting with me whenever you were getting this. So there wasn't two of her at the time. It's amazing what we can do. Look, she's disappearing. So happy
There's
birthday.
me,
Have a
my
very,
army outfit, and then
yes,
there's my corporate outfit.
yes,
Just for those who can't see that, right?
yes, we
There's
can see
and,
it.
and my friend Eamon McElwee helped me design this. And a
Beautiful.
photographer in Monaghan, Rory Geary, took the picture
Yeah,
at the Peace Campus in Monaghan. So it's all about my roots,
yeah.
but my two parallel careers and lives
It's
and
your
all that I
stories on
learned
the
from it.
cover. Your stories are
Yeah,
on the cover and amazing and so inspiring. Breda, thank
yeah,
you for joining me today. Thank you for the conversation. I know you've inspired many people. Now go and get your copy of Operation Growth and send us pictures. Reach out to Breda on all social because she's so
yeah,
active, and just enjoy it and go after life.
yeah. Thank you, Karen.
Bye guys.